The following contest is a submission match. On the way to the ring, from Boise, Idaho, Torrie Wilson.
Just a corner of the war I can be What do you do when everybody wants you? How do you breathe when they take you away? Who do you turn to when you need to get away? Only your love can get me there. What do you do when everybody wants you? How do you breathe when they take you away? Who do you turn to when you need to get away? Only your love can get me there.
From Baltimore, Maryland, Stacy Keibler.
From the Great White North, I'm Jim Ross here with Jerry the King Lawler, and this is Raw, live from Toronto.
Look at these fans, JR. If that isn't proof that Raw is the dominant brand of sports entertainment in the world, I don't know what is.
Whether they're in America, in Canada, or anywhere else in the world, the Raw superstars never fail to deliver the greatest show in sports entertainment. That went nowhere. Look at this! Look at this! You talk about a house of fire, you're seeing it right here!
Yeah? Well, somebody better put out that fire, or this one's not going to end well. What a counter! Now remember, kids, whatever you do, don't try this stuff at home.
Absolutely not. Even these trained professionals wind up pretty badly banged up after a match.
There's the reversal. Do you believe we actually get paid to do this job, JR?
It's like a dream come true, King. Except I have to sit here and listen to you drool over the demons.
Come on, JR. You know I'm helpless when it comes to puppies.
Oh, I know, King. And that's why I'm bringing a pitcher of ice water out here with me next time. A textbook reversal there.
I can watch these Wow! There's a hole you don't want to find yourself in, JR.
You sure don't, King. We've seen many a superstar tap out to this one. And it's been reversed.
After some of the things we've seen in this ring, JR, I think we'd better remind the folks at home not to try this stuff themselves.
That's for damn sure, King. The WWE superstars are trained professionals.
And even they don't walk away from every match in the best shape.
They sure don't. We've seen more than one superstar taken out of here on a stretcher. What a reversal. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears have been shed in that very ring.
And I think there's going to be a lot more shed here tonight.
No doubt about that, King. These superstars are going to leave it all in the ring. You can count on that. Excellent counter. What ring presence.
These superstars are putting on a great match so far, JR. But if they drop the ball, these...
Oh boy, this is not going to be an easy hole to escape from.
It sure isn't, JR. I've been on the wrong end of that one many times. I don't think that these superstars have even contemplated the fact that they might lose.
I'm sure they have. That's not the kind of attitude you come in with and expect.
This could finish the match right here. I don't think anyone's walking away from this match unscathed.
No doubt about it, King. This one's going to be hell on the anatomy for sure.
I think I know who's going to win this one, JR.
Oh, really? Enlighten us, King.
Wait a second. Why are you so eager to hear my prediction?
Because I want to know who's going to win. And 9 times out of 10, it's not the superstar you pick.
I can't remember the last time I saw superstars this fired up. I don't think they've even considered the possibility that they might not win this thing.
There's an awful lot of pride on the line here, King. No one in that ring wants to have to go back to the locker room as a loser. This capacity crowd is solidly behind their superstar. Look at this.
Wow, could you be any more biased, JR? How about some fair and balanced commentary? This match has the potential to be an instant classic, and I think these fans are too stupid to realize it.
How can you say that, King? How can you insult the intelligence of these WWE fans?
Well, I heard that we gave them an IQ test, and the results came back negative.
Folks, I've got to apologize to the King here tonight. He must have gotten up on the wrong side of somebody else's bed this morning.
It's matches like this that make this the greatest job in the world, JR.
Absolutely, King. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
To these superstars backstage before the match, and I don't think I've ever seen competitors so ready to get it on.
And that's coming through loud and clear here tonight in this match. They're not taking it easy on each other either.
It's been said a million times, but I'll say it again. This isn't ballet. Ruthless aggression is the name of the game. Superstars will be able to keep this up.
They'll go as long as...
Oh, man. I've been in this hole before, JR. This brings back some bad memories.
I can understand why, King. I can't even imagine the pain being inflicted here.
These superstars are putting everything on the line here in this match.
They sure are, and they're doing it all for the WWE fans. Without them, there'd be no WWE.
I don't think I've ever felt more anticipation during a match than I am right now, JR.
I know what you mean, King. It's hard to find words to describe the electricity in the air here tonight.
See, JR, this is exactly why Raw is the #1 brand in all of sports entertainment.
You're absolutely right, King. We've got the best superstars, the best fans,
and the best announced team. Don't forget that.
I was going to say that until you interrupted me. Now I'm just hoping I haven't lost Taz's phone number.
You think this is going to be a back and forth kind of match? Or do you think this is going to be pretty one-sided, JR?
I can tell you, King, these superstars are so unpredictable that you can never tell how a match is going to go.
That was a long way to go for a simple, I don't know, JR. think this one could go either way, JR.
It sure could. Until the referee calls for the bell, this is still anyone's match.
Let me tell you, JR, you won't see action like this anywhere except on Raw.
That's for sure, King. There's not another brand of sports entertainment out there that can compare with Raw.
Now, if only we could get that through Michael Cole and Taz's heads, then they'd stop running their mouths on SmackDown.
That's a short climb, but a potentially long fall.
I think it's pretty obvious which way this one's going to go, JR.
Well, from my perspective, this is still anybody's match.
I'd like to see things from your perspective, JR, but I'd have to...
The submission has been expertly applied, and now it's just a matter of time.
That's right, JR. You've either got to break the hold or get broken by it. I thought I'd pick the winner before the match started, JR, but now I'm having second thoughts.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, King. Usually I wonder if you've even had first thoughts.
I've been looking forward to this match all night, JR. I can't believe it's finally underway.
This has been a...
I don't care how tough you are, JR. No one can take this kind of pain for long.
You're absolutely right, King.
What a finishing move. I get chills every time I see it. So, JR, are you enjoying the match so far?
Yes, I am. I think these superstars are putting on one hell of an exhibition here tonight.
What's your favorite part of it so far?
I don't think it's happened yet. My favorite part of the match will be when you quit yapping.
Uh-oh. This isn't going to be pretty.
These superstars are in terrific shape, and that comes as no surprise whatsoever.
No kidding. If you don't have that conditioning, you're not going to last long in a match.
You sure aren't, and that's only one of the many reasons I try to stay out of the ring whenever possible. The submission is locked in. This could be huge.
Oh my gosh, JR! You can't go long without tapping out to this.
I tell you, King, I've got no earthly idea how these superstars can maintain this intensity week after week after week.
It's not easy, JR. There's no off-season. It's not like you've got 6 months to recover after WrestleMania.
That's for damn sure. And that's why I don't think there can be any doubt in anyone's mind that the superstars of the WWE are the greatest athletes in the world.
These superstars, JR, they absolutely refuse to be intimidated by each other.
There's a determined look in the eyes of...
That submission is locked in, JR, and this is a tough hold to break.
It sure is, King, and even if you break the hold, it takes its toll on you. Boy, what a match. I wouldn't even hazard a guess as to who's going to win this thing.
What? Have you got both your contacts in one eye, JR? It's been obvious to me since the start of the match.
Oh, really? Well then, why don't you just enlighten the rest of us, King?
No way. I can already tell this is going to be a great match, and I don't want to ruin the ending for you.
You're too kind, King. You're also full of horse manure, as far as I can tell. Well, you can't ever accuse the WWE fans of being shy about saying what's on their minds.
You sure can, JR, and I don't think we'd have it any other way. I feel so lucky that I'm actually getting to see these superstars wrestle each other.
Me too, King. This one has the potential to become an instant classic. feeling that this has all the makings of an instant classic.
That's probably just gas, JR.
Well, I did have some good old Oklahoma barbecue before tonight's show, but I don't think that's it, King. This is a classic matchup, King. I'm so glad the WWE fans are getting the chance to see it.
Yeah, and I'm happy that I'm getting to see it too, JR. I just wish they'd pick up the pace a little.
Oh, no. This is classic old-school wrestling at its finest. You, of all people, should be able to appreciate it.
You're not trying to say that I'm old, are you?
Well, of course not, King. Although there was that rumor going around about your Social Security number was one.
I wonder how far these superstars are willing to go to get the win here tonight.
As far as it takes, King. We've seen them put their bodies on the line time and time again. And I'm sure tonight will be no different.
Uh-oh. Talk about a hole you don't want to find yourself in.
No kidding. This will rearrange your anatomy.
It looks like they're slowing the pace down a bit here.
Maybe so. But one or two big moves could completely change the complexion of this match.
They're taking it down a notch, JR. This could get interesting.
They're picking their spots, King. You got to know. What a submission hold! Could this be a tap out?
It isn't. The hole can't be broken. You can't take this kind of pain for long. I almost feel bad for Taz and Michael Cole.
If there's the submission, there might not be any way out of it.
There better be, or we're going to see a tap out right here. I think we're going to find out just how much punishment the human body can withstand here tonight.
I think you're right, King. These superstars seem intent on taking each other to the limit.
I love that attitude, JR. Go big or go home.
Well, these superstars sure aren't going home until this match is settled once and for all.
I think these superstars are getting some feedback from the crowd, JR.
Nothing wrong with that, King. That's what we like to hear.
I don't think there's going to be anything left of these superstars by the time they're done.
There may not be, King. They may well annihilate each other here tonight. What an incredible performance by these phenomenal superstars.
Did you expect anything less, JR? I mean, look who's in the ring right now.
No, I didn't, King. I had high expectations, and I'm happy to say that this match has exceeded them all. You can fool some of the people all of the time, and all the people some of the time, but there's no fooling the WWE fans at all.
I've got to say, JR, I'm really impressed by what we've seen here tonight.
How could you not be, King? These are some of the finest athletes in all of sports entertainment.
I know that, JR. I'm just saying that this has been a great match so far.
It has indeed, King, and I think it's only going to get better from here on out. Boy, when you look at these superstars, it really drives home the fact that Raw is the dominant brand of sports entertainment.
Oh, there's no doubt about that, JR. There's not a superstar on the SmackDown roster who could hold a candle to Raw's finest.
I wouldn't go that far, King. There are quite a few SmackDown superstars who I'd love to have on Raw.
Oh, come on, JR. Why would you want to lower the tone of the Raw locker room by bringing in some losers from SmackDown?
King, next time you call Undertaker, Kurt Angle, John Cena, losers. Make sure you give me some warning so I can get out of the way before you do it. I don't want to be a part of any of your trouble. Sounds like this crowd's got something on their minds, King.
Who cares about them, JR? Look what's going on in the ring. I don't think these superstars have any intention of taking it easy on each other tonight.
That's not what they signed up for, King. And quite frankly, I think these fans would be disappointed if they didn't go all out.
Well, that's easy for the fans to say. They've never set foot inside that ring.
No, they spend their hard-earned dollars to watch what goes on inside it. And without them, we'd all be out of a job.
Looks like they've slowed the match down a little, and I think that's some good strategy right there.
It certainly is. I'm sure they're well acquainted with the old expression, fools rush in.
Is that why you always seem to be in such a hurry, JR?
I think I've eaten a little too much good Oklahoma barbecue in my day, King, to hurry anywhere. This capacity crowd is making their opinion known tonight.
They sure are, JR, and I love to hear it.
This is Raw action at its finest. That's why Raw is the #1 brand of sports entertainment.
You've got that right, JR. You're not going to see this kind of action on Smackdown.
Not on Smackdown or anywhere else. There's nothing else out there that can come close to the excitement of seeing the Raw superstars perform live.
Ruthless aggression. Look at the way these superstars have been going after each other.
They're not playing with kid gloves, that's for sure.
We knew we were going to see a heck of a match, but this might turn out to be... No. Go ahead and say it, JR.
All right, I will. I think this one's got all the makings of a bona fide slobber knocker.
I'm not sure I agree with what the crowd is chanting, JR, but I guess it's their right.
You're damn right it is. It comes with the price of admission.
I can't even imagine what these superstars will put each other through.
I don't think you'll have to use much imagination, King. I think they intend to show you right here tonight. So, King, any predictions about the outcome of this match?
Oh, no. Every time I make a guess as to who's going to win, I never hear the end of it from you.
Maybe that wouldn't happen if you got one right every now and then.
So come on, JR. Just between you and me, who are you pulling for in this matchup?
I'd like to see a clean victory by a superstar with a lot of heart and a lot of intensity who puts on the best performance possible for the fans, King.
I hope these superstars can make it through this match without suffering a serious injury.
So do I, King, but this ain't ballet. This is very intense, physical competition. I'll tell you what, King, the WWE superstars are about the greatest athletes you'll find in any sport, period.
What do you mean just about, JR? Can you actually think of anywhere else that you can see athletes of this caliber?
I was just going for a little humility there, King. I'm not surprised it was lost on you. I tell you, King, sometimes I get exhausted watching these superstars compete.
I know what you mean, JR. I don't think most people appreciate what incredible athletes these WWE superstars really are.
You've got to have some excellent conditioning to be able to do what they do.
Well, that's the name of the game, JR. You gotta keep moving. No dog ever peed on a moving car.
Oh, that's a lovely image, King. I'd ask you where you come up with this stuff. I don't think I want to know, quite frankly.
fan of everybody in this match, JR, but you've got to respect their dedication to this business.
Oh, absolutely, King. I don't have to like everyone on the roster to acknowledge that they've all worked long and hard to master their craft.
JR's not going to be happy about this one, folks. I think one of his favorites is going to get beat like the proverbial government mule.
I'm not playing favorites, King. I might have issues with certain superstars as human beings, but I respect their in-ring abilities nonetheless.
JR, you're so full of it that you've got diarrhea of the mouth and constipation of the brain.
The referee is out, King. Will we see someone take advantage?
I'd be disappointed in them if they didn't, JR. This is a great opportunity. Yes, that was an incredible move. What strategy?
Strategy, my Oklahoma ass. That's cheating, plain and simple.
I think I see where this one's going, JR. I don't think we're very far from the end of the match.
I disagree entirely, King. I'd bet my Oklahoma Sooner ass that this one isn't even close to being over.
That's a pretty big bet, JR. Are you sure you're able to cover it?
These superstars are going to put each other through wrestling hell tonight.
They've already got a pretty good start on that, JR.
They have indeed, King. I don't think there's an ounce of quit between them.
Yeah, and that's where things get dangerous. If you're too proud to admit that it's not your night, you might wind up risking your career for a single match.
But at the same time, King, no one makes it up the ladder without pushing themselves to the very limit. It's a very fine line to walk. I'll be honest with you, King. This is not the way I thought this match would go at all.
Me neither. Anything can happen in the WWE.
I think you hit the nail right on the head, King. And it's that unpredictability that makes it so exciting.
You can look at any professional sport you want, JR, and you won't find more incredible athletes than the WWE superstars.
You're not wrong, King. They compete every week until they are physically incapable of continuing. There's no off-season in the WWE.
We're not talking about running a ball down a field or slapping a puck into a net. This is serious physical competition.
It sure is. The toughest athletes in the world are on the WWE roster, and that's a fact.
So, how do you think this one's going to turn out, JR?
Honestly, King, I have absolutely no idea. Anything can happen here in the WWE.
But you've got to have a guess, right?
I might, but I'd rather keep it to myself if it's all the same to you, King. I think this crowd's giving these superstars a piece of their minds, King.
Are you sure they can afford it, JR? You think these fans have gotten their money's worth tonight, JR?
If they haven't yet, I'm sure they're going to by the end of this match.
Well, I don't say this too often, but I completely agree with you. Boy, these superstars have impressed the heck out of me here tonight.
Same here, King. We expected a solid match. We're seeing a great one. You've got to ask yourself, how much punishment will these superstars be able to withstand tonight?
I don't know, JR, but I think they're pretty intent on finding out.
They certainly are. I don't know how it's going to end, but I can guarantee you they're going to leave it all in the ring. There's no room for error when you're on the top rope. sure this one's about winning or losing anymore. I think it's become more personal than that.
Of course it's personal, JR. Anytime you step into the ring with someone who wants to beat you down in order to win the match, it's personal.
I guess I can't argue with that, King. I just wonder if they'll be able to settle their differences in this match, or if it's going to wind up bigger than that.
Look at this, JR. Can you imagine SmackDown putting on a match half as good as this?
No disrespect intended for our SmackDown colleagues, but no, I can't, King. I truly believe Raw is the dominant brand in sports entertainment.
And you hit the nail right on the head there, JR. The dominant brand. Not the slightly better brand or the sort of superior brand.
Absolutely not. I'm a Raw man, and I have to believe we're head and shoulders better than the competition.
You won't get any argument from me, JR. SmackDown's the minor leagues as far as I'm concerned. Well, from the looks of things, it's not hard to tell how this one's gonna go.
What are you talking about, King? I think this is still an extremely competitive match that could go either way.
You know, JR, it's obvious that the only exercise you get is stretching the truth or jumping to conclusions.
Well, judging from the shape I'm in, I don't appear to be doing too much of either, King. You're looking pretty fit, though, I must say.
Man, is there even going to be anything left of these superstars by the time they're done?
Not if they have their way, King. Everything they came in here with tonight is going to be left in that ring, mark my words.
I hope these fans appreciate it, JR. These superstars are putting it all on the line for them right here tonight.
I think this crowd has decided to exercise the right of free speech.
God bless the First Amendment, JR. Boy, it's obvious these superstars have done their homework on each other.
They sure have, and this is one hell of a...
JR, I'd love to see them go at it again.
Well, if I think the fans have their way, you'll get your wish, King.
These superstars are going to tear each other apart.
That's exactly what the fans paid to see, King, and they're not going to go home disappointed.
I think these superstars have a legitimate beef with each other, JR.
So do I, King. I'm not so sure their issues with each other are going to be solved with one match.
I hope not. I'd love to see them go at it again and again.
If one of these superstars starts to build momentum, it could be the beginning of the end of this match.
That's right, JR. You don't see a lot of matches won with one or two big moves.
You sure don't. You've got to lay the groundwork first.
The intensity of these superstars is unbelievable.
No doubt about that, King. The fans are getting their money's worth here tonight.
Any superstar shows the match.
That's for sure. No matter how beat up you are, you can't ever let your opponent know the extent of your injuries.
And that's easier said than done, JR. The human body can only absorb so much punishment. So who do you think's going to win this match, JR?
I'm not even going to hazard a guess, King. These superstars are so unpredictable that would be just about the most foolish thing I could possibly do.
Oh no, this is terrible. You can't let your opponent build this kind of momentum.
Well, all I can say is someone's been eating their vitamins and saying their prayers.
Remind me to never try and step between these guys, JR.
That would be hazardous to your health for sure, King.
I feel like the luckiest guy in the world, JR. I can't believe I actually get paid to do this job.
Well, don't let Eric Bischoff hear you say that, King, or you might wind up having to do it for free.
That's true. Bischoff's so cheap, he won't even tip a canoe. I tell you, JR, this one has the potential to be a Match of the Year candidate.
No doubt about it, King. As far as I'm concerned, any WWE match has that potential. Everyone on the roster is an accomplished wrestler. I'm sure these competitors have studied each other very carefully.
This match would be over by now if they hadn't, JR. You never get into the ring without doing your homework.
That would be a recipe for disaster for sure, King.
You know, JR, when I saw this match on paper, I wasn't too sure about it. But it's turned out a lot better than I thought it would.
I'm not at all surprised, King. I knew this was going to be a terrific matchup.
Oh, come on, JR. You're just talking through your hat. Speaking of hats, when are you going to get rid of that silly thing anyway?
Right about the time you stop wearing that crown, I'd say.
I think I know who's going to win this match, but I don't want to say. I'm afraid I'll jinx it.
Come on, King. Don't tell me you're superstitious.
Of course not, JR. I'm not superstitious because I know that's unlucky. What do you think of the match so far, JR?
I think these superstars are putting on one hell of an exhibition here tonight, King. I can't wait to see what happens next.
Looks like these superstars are looking for an opening.
And the first one to find one will take control of this match.
These superstars sure aren't going easy on each other here tonight.
What'd you expect, King? This isn't ballet, you know.
Oh, really, JR? Gosh, tell me more about your in-ring experience.
Well, I've got a pinfall victory over Triple H to my credit. How about you?
I'd hate to be that referee, JR. Can you imagine having to tell one of these superstars no?
Boy, I think I've had nightmares about trying to do something like that, King. Oh boy, the adrenaline is pumping. I think this could be the beginning of the end.
No, it can't end like this. Come on, do something quick. These superstars are at the top of their game, JR. They make it look so easy.
They sure do. You almost forget about the years of training and sacrifice that went into their careers.
Oh boy, these fans have got something on their minds, JR.
Well, they paid for their tickets, King, and they've got a right to say whatever they want.
What are they going to do next?
I couldn't even begin to guess, King. That's why they say anything can happen here in the WWE.
Oh boy, you might want to close your eyes, JR. This one could get ugly.
You're damn right it could. It could get folding shoe ugly. And that's what this business is all about. It's not ballet, you know.
No matter who wins this one, everyone's going to feel the effects of this match tomorrow.
No doubt about it, King. But if you win, you don't have to deal with hurt pride on top of it.
commitment and the dedication of these superstars to their careers.
No question about it, King. Every superstar on the roster has had to make more sacrifices than any other professional athlete I know.
It really is like being married to your career. There's not much room for anything else.
And marriage is a subject which you happen to be something of an authority. Isn't that right, King?
Come on now, JR. A man doesn't know what true happiness is until he's married. And then it's too late. Listen to the crowd, JR. I think they've got something to say to these superstars.
And if they're smart, they'll listen. Remember, without these fans, these superstars are out of a job.
This has gone beyond just being a match, JR. I think these superstars genuinely hate each other.
There's no love lost between these competitors, that's for sure. If looks could kill, somebody would be pushing up daisies right now.
And you've got to admit, that makes for a much more interesting match, JR.
It sure does. But I just hope these superstars can settle their differences in the ring and leave it at that.
Did you ever think you'd be watching these superstars compete against each other here tonight, JR?
I had a feeling their paths are going to cross sooner or later, and I'm glad I'm here to see.
Me too. It almost makes it worth having to sit next to you and listen to those corny expressions of yours. What the heck is a government mule anyway?
It's what you get beat like when you're in the middle of a slobber knocker. And if you don't have the guts to stick around, you might run like a scalded dog with a case.
Enough! Getting a translator before I have to come in here with you again. Looks like things have quieted down here a bit, JR.
Well, you can be certain that won't last long, King.
That's for sure. I haven't seen the superstar yet who goes down without a fight. These superstars are so unpredictable, this match could go another 30 seconds or 30 minutes.
I hope it's the latter, King. It wouldn't hurt my feelings one bit if this match lasted the rest of the night.
Climbing up the turnbuckle isn't bad. It's all the ways you can come down that hurt.
This match is going to continue until someone's completely debilitated. And considering the resiliency of these superstars, that's not going to be easy.
That's for sure. No one in this match is going down without a fight.
And I wouldn't expect any less from them, King. Like them or not, you've got to respect the tenacity of each and every WWE superstar.
Can you believe we're actually watching these superstars go at it, JR?
It's great to see, King. I've been looking forward to this match for a long time, and I'm glad to see that it's not a disappointment. It looks like they've decided to slow the match down a bit here.
And this could be a big mistake, JR. You don't ever want to give an opponent time to recover.
No, but you're not going to do yourself much good in a match if you let yourself get bone tired either.
I think the best is yet to come in this match, JR.
I agree with you 100%. Whenever you put abilities of this caliber in a match together, it just gets better and better.
These superstars are beating the heck out of each other, and this crowd can't get enough of it.
It's what they paid to see, King, and they're getting their money's worth tonight.
They sure are. Wow! Stealing your opponent's finishing move definitely sends a message. This is great, JR. Would you call this one a slobber knocker?
It's too early to tell, King, but it's definitely one hellacious matchup, no doubt about it.
I'd ask you who you want to win this matchup, JR, but it's been pretty obvious since the start of the show who you're pulling for.
I'm trying to remain as objective as I can, King. Quite frankly, I'd rather see a good competitive matchup than see a particular superstar win or lose this thing.
Oh, come on. Everyone knows you play favorites. You're always trying to kiss up to the fans by talking up whoever they're cheering for.
I've never been a kiss-up in my life, King, which is more than I can say for some people. I call them like I see them, and I'm flattered that the WWE fans agree with me as often as they do.
I don't know how much more of this I can stand to listen to, JR. You know what the difference between you and I-95 is? You can turn off I-95. I wonder if SmackDown's going to have anything nearly this good next Thursday.
I think we both know the answer to that one, King. How could they compete with a match like this?
Boy, these superstars sure have their hands full here tonight, JR.
All they can say grace over.
I think someone's going for a high-risk move, JR.
wonder if we'll ever...
There's only a
Here's your
few things
winner,
you have to avoid doing in a match. And having your
Stacy
shoulders touch the mat
Keibler.
for 3 seconds is one of them.
And you know better than anyone how difficult that can be, King.
Absolutely, JR. Sometimes, no matter how hard you try, you just can't